So in this example, we not only have to deal with more than one radical, we have to actually figure out a way to put them in order from least to greatest. Now the only way to compare things is to have a common reference point, which in this case the easiest way to go is with an entire radical. Only one of these, this root 202, has been given that way, so we need to actually go and convert the rest of them into entire radicals. Some of them are easier than others, some of them more difficult, but let's just go through the easy ones first. 8 root 3. Well, as an entire radical, we would have had to have 2 pairs of 8 to pull out, so it would have been at one point square root of 3 times 8 times 8. Multiply that out, we get square root of 192. Now I'm going to attempt to write that on top as a reference point. Uh, 10 root 2, same process. At some point under the root before we simplified it, we would have had square root of 2 times 10 times 10. Multiplying that out would be the square root of 200. The other two not quite as easy, but we'll deal with 14 next. Thinking back to example 1, when we took and wrote these roots in separate roots, you could think of 14 as being pulled out of a root which had no leftovers. So at some point under the root, we could have had just the square root of 14 times 14. Which would allow us to pair off the 14s, pull them out, and have nothing left with the root. So in a way, there is a root with the 14, but it's not written since there was nothing left over. Multiply those out, we get square root of 196. It's going to clear the page to do the last one. We have 4 times 13 to the exponent of 1/2. This pulls in another piece of knowledge from Foundations in Pre-Calc 10 in dealing with fraction exponents. Any fraction exponent is the same as a root, and the denominator of that exponent, it's a 2 here, is the index on it. So another way of writing this would be 4 root 13. Well, now this is basically the same as 8 root 3 or 10 root 2. Go and reverse engineer it. At some point under that root, there would have been square root of 13 times 4 times 4. Multiply that out would give the square root of 204. I'm going to flip back for a second just to put that with the original expression. So 4 times 13 to the 1/2 is equivalent to the square root of 204. So now we have a common frame of reference. We can order these. When you do that, it's customary to do that in the original format, even though we're going to use these entire radicals as a method to get there. Going from least to greatest, the least one would be the square root of 192, which was 8 root 3. Next one, square root of 196, which was 14. Next, square root of 200, which was 10 root 2. Square root of 202, which was given as is. And square root of 204, which was given as 4 times 13 to the 1/2.